My now ex cheated on me, so I left. Her mom called me yelling, "How can you abandon her?" Because now she's no longer on my health insurance and couldn't afford her medication. Am I the asshole here? Throwaway for obvious reasons. I'm in a weird place emotionally, and I honestly don't know how to feel about this. I, 34M, was with my now ex, Emily, 30F, for about 6 years. We lived together, shared finances to a degree, though I paid the lion's share of bills because I had a stable job with good benefits. She works full-time in retail management, makes a modest income, but her job doesn't offer health insurance. So she's been on my work-provided plan for the past 4 years. Emily has a couple of chronic conditions, anxiety, mild bipolar disorder, and takes meds regularly. Nothing that kept her from functioning day to day, but she needed consistent treatment and a psychiatrist check-in every few months. So here's where it unravels. Around March, I started noticing changes: emotionally distant, constantly texting someone but angling her phone away from me, frequent girls' nights with people I'd never heard of. One night she came home drunk and started crying, talking about how she feels invisible and misunderstood. I asked her what was going on the next day, and she said she was just in a funk. A few weeks later, I found messages on her iPad. I won't give all the details, but it was obvious. Emotional cheating, at first. Then physical. It had been going on for 3 months. I confronted her. She sobbed, apologized, and said it happened during a weak point. That this guy, coworker, of course, gave her validation when she felt like I was emotionally unavailable. That she didn't want to leave me, she just wanted to feel wanted. Honestly, I broke. I was already burned out from work, as my job was high stress, long hours, barely sleeping, and this was the final straw. I wasn't eating, I had chest pains from anxiety, I could barely focus. I realized I was keeping it together for a relationship that had already been torched. So I decided to leave. I told her I'd be moving out, gave it 2 weeks, and then packed up and left. But I also quit my job. Maybe that was impulsive. But I had savings, and I knew I needed time to reset. I wasn't healthy mentally, and I knew I wouldn't survive jumping into another high-stress position just to maintain the same life, but now alone. I didn't do it out of revenge. I just couldn't keep going. When I quit my job, obviously I lost my health insurance, and since Emily was under my plan, she lost it too. I didn't think much about it at the time. We were done. She had cheated. I figured she'd figure something out. Now last week, I get a call from her mother. She starts yelling at me, saying Emily had a severe panic attack at work, had to be taken to urgent care, and it turns out she hadn't been on her meds for weeks because she couldn't afford the refill out of pocket. She'd also missed her last psych appointment because she couldn't pay cash. Her mom says I knew how dependent Emily was on that coverage, and that I chose to abandon her when she was mentally unwell. She accuses me of being calculating, saying I could have at least given Emily warning so she could make arrangements. Now I'll admit, I did know. I knew losing my job would terminate her coverage. But I also assumed she would figure something out. She has a job. She's an adult. I honestly didn't feel like it was my responsibility anymore, especially after what she did. Did I screw her over by walking away like this? Am I the asshole for not giving her a heads up about losing the insurance? Update. First of all, thank you to everyone who responded. I read every comment. So, yeah. A lot's happened since I posted. Earlier this week, Emily came to my new place unannounced. She looked rough. Tired. Like she hadn't been sleeping or taking care of herself. She asked to come in and talk. I let her, probably against my better judgment. She didn't waste time. She apologized, genuinely from what I could tell. Said cheating on me was the biggest mistake of her life. That she was lonely and insecure, and instead of working on things or talking to me, she turned outward. She blamed herself. Didn't make excuses, which was new. She said she spiraled after I left. She said losing me made her realize how much I held her together. She told me she's blocked the coworker on everything. That she hasn't talked to him since the panic attack incident, and that she's been working on herself. Said she finally understood what I meant when I talked about emotional exhaustion, that she's felt it now, every day, and can't believe I carried so much without saying anything. Then she asked for a second chance. She said she wants to fix things. That she still loves me. That she knows we had something real, and that she can change if I just give her the space to. I asked her one thing, after I moved out. Did you go back to him? She hesitated. Said no at first. Swore it was over. I just stared at her. Then she broke. She admitted she did reach out to him again. That she needed someone to talk to and couldn't stop spiraling. That he was just there and she was desperate. But, she swore, it wasn't physical. They met a couple times as friends, that's it. I told her I didn't believe that. I asked her why, if she needed support, she didn't go to her mom, the one who called me screaming and clearly had her back. She had no real answer. Just that it was a dark time. Then she said again, but I'm not in that place anymore. I want to make this right. Please, just one chance. I said no. She cried. I almost did too. I told her, you're not the only one who spiraled. I just did it quietly. Alone. You were my person, and you broke me when I needed you most. And maybe I look okay now, but I'm still putting myself back together. I told her I could see she was struggling. That I didn't wish her harm. But I also told her that loving someone isn't the same as being able to trust them. She left eventually. I haven't heard from her since. I don't know what comes next. I'm still job hunting, still trying to rebuild. That's all. Thanks everyone. Final update. Hey folks, I've had a few messages asking how things turned out, so I figured I'd post a short final update. Not much happened after my last post. After Emily came to my place and asked for another chance, and I said no, I blocked her. I also blocked her mom, her sister, and Steph, her best friend who co-signed the whole thing. So, I don't know what she's up to now, and I think it's better that way. I took some advice from the comments and focused on rebuilding. I'm now working at a smaller tech firm, lower pay, but a healthier pace. No late nights. I've been going to therapy, sleeping better, eating like an actual adult again. It's not perfect, but I finally feel like myself again, which is something I didn't realize I'd lost until all this happened. Anyway, that's it. Thanks again to everyone who helped me find clarity when I was second guessing. Be well.